squad? You had a couple of doubts from the weekend. How is everyone looking?
Well, we have Glenn Kamara is okay.
Yeah.
Kamara is back, and Ridvan and Ben Davies still not available. So
Sorry,
Ben Davies and Yilmaz not available.
I'm just going to check that. So that sounds terrible. I just want to make sure.
Is my voice or what?
No.
I have a frog
Yeah.
in my mind.
It's okay to the recording, but if we can just do it
Yeah, with in the room. Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
You want it again? We have Kamara coming back in the squad, and we have Lundstram not available because suspension, and Yilmaz will not be ready. He will be out for several weeks, and Ben Davies didn't train. Hopefully, will be involved in the weekend, but tomorrow it's too early.
Can you try and sum up the difference in the two teams from when you first met on match day 1?
The two teams. Well, I can only speak of my team. I mean, it's obviously we have a difficult run in Europe this season in Champions League, and we have the last chance tomorrow to have a positive result. So that's what we are trying to do, and that's all that matters for us tomorrow. And I only want to talk about my team.
The group benefited massively from big, good results in Europe last season. How damaging could it be if you went through the group not winning a game, not getting a point?
Well, I mean, it will be disappointed, of course, because we knew the opposition we are facing in Champions League is from a much higher level than we faced last season. You can see all the games we played. It's been really tough, and once we qualified in Holland against PSV, I knew it's going to be a really tough European season, as I also had with my old team Feyenoord in Champions League, only get the first 3 points the last game at home against Napoli. So there was similar experience. But yeah, you want to have always the highest level of opponents. That's why you are, a top player and a club. You want to be involved in the highest level, although it means, the opposition is quite strong. And so it will be disappointing not to get any points. Still one game to be played, but then, we have to switch back to all the domestic competition we are involved still.
What kind of difference do you think it could make, Gio, if you did get your first point tomorrow, or even your first 3?
Well, it's been positive. I mean, it's it's, as I said, the group is really hard. If you see Ajax, they have from so far only 3 points. Last season they had 100% record in Europe in Champions League, and tomorrow we can even that points if we win. So that's let's see the level, especially Napoli and Liverpool showed in this group. But it's got to be still a really hard game because Ajax is a very very good team.
Yeah, what kind of performance do you think you'll need from your team tomorrow to compete with Ajax and to beat them? Your best of the season, maybe?
Well, we need to be on, our form needs to be there. And especially in Europe, you have to be 90 minutes, you have to be focused because a lot of moments in this campaign, we're getting punished not to be 100%, over the 90 minutes against Napoli, of course, with the sending off and the 3 penalties. It's always hard, but the first 60, 65 minutes, we were, well in the game. Against Liverpool, we were only 65 minutes. And then, of course, with the substitutions and the injuries we had, then, we dropped and, they punished us big time. So we need to have, our level, but, the level for 90 minutes, that's what's expected and what's needed in the Champions League.
I know how hard this group has been with last season's finalists. Napoli, a team that maybe could go as far as the final. They look very good. But in your mind, do you think Rangers could and should be able to compete with Ajax?
We compete with Ajax, a team who's almost played the final, and they are 5-6 years in a row, like doing well in Europe. We haven't been, we doing well in Europe the last 3 years. We're still, not at the same level as Ajax, but we are developing, and that's that's the way it is. It's the way the the difference are in Europe at the moment. If you see Ajax, it's I think the players overall are from a higher level. Their budget is high. They bought for 100 million. They bought another bad defender from us last season. So I mean, it's we cannot compare ourselves with Ajax, but we can compete with them on the day, and especially at home at Ibrox.
Given that, Giovanni, do you consider yourself, when you go to the change room, do you expect to win? When at home, it's the final game. Do you and your players expect to win tomorrow night, even though there's this disparity in both finances and European experience?
Well, you expect to win in Champions League. No one can expect to win. Not one team in Europe goes in the pitch and okay, we expect to win. The level is so hard and so competitive. If you look at all the results in Europe against even the big teams, they're not assured of winning games. So why should we go on the pitch and expect us to win against Ajax? We're gonna work hard for it. We're gonna give a really a good game against them, and that's different. But our approach should be humble, and we know we can be strong at home because we showed it also this season, but also last season. But it's not easy to get a result. You have to really work hard for it, and don't go in the game and expect that we're gonna win the game.
What do you think is more important tomorrow night then? The result, getting 3 points a point, or the manner of performance overall, the actual display?
Well, I think if we have a positive display and a good performance, that will bring us closer to a positive result.
Giovanni, you mentioned there about this Rangers team is developing at this level in Europe. What has this Champions League campaign taught you about this Rangers team that you maybe didn't know before?
What I didn't know about my team, well, it's a whole different level. How many players in my team play Champions League?
Just about kind of playing at this level, what has it taught you?
Was a question. We have players coming from the Championship, or even played in the B team, or it's a whole different level. And I've experienced the level as a player. I had the first experience with Feyenoord, playing as Juventus my first year, and didn't realize how much the level was in Europe. And until I played against Zidane and Deschamps and Del Piero, then I knew, well, this is a different level. This is the level I want to reach. And that experience, my players face the same this season.
Gio, there's been a lot of talk this season about Morelos, Čolak, or even both in a match tomorrow when you do require 5 goals, I believe, to have any hope of getting European football
It would be easy. 5 goals will be easy.
Is this perhaps a game to test that out when you need to score so many goals?
No.
Gio, can I just ask about James Sands? Obviously, if Davies is out, maybe likely he'll start with the centre-back pairing that you finished with at the weekend. He's been out of the team for a little while since his red card against Napoli. How impressed were you with him at the weekend, and what can he give you in place of Davies at centre-back?
Well, I think his performances the last games are really positive. Switching. We had to switch positions a lot. With Lundstram, with Sands coming as a 6 or play as a centre back. But he's a very smart player, so he can play either positions. It's not ideally you have to move players so many times in the last weeks, but we have to do it because of the injuries we have. So. But I'm really pleased with his performance, and he's giving a lot of intelligence to the team with the way he plays with his passing in his positions.
Any final English questions before we take some Dutch questions, guys? Over to the left.
What was it with Yilmaz? What was the injury? Is he after?
He had a hamstring injury. Yeah.
After the World Cup, is that when we're going to see him? You said
Well, it will definitely be after the World Cup. I don't know how long exactly, but he will not be involved in the remaining games until the break.